It's your boy Roy with Daniel Big Trip Quintana. We got a special guest here, Marcial from CaliFights.com.
That's right, we're here.
Yeah, he's a good old buddy of ours here, and we're gonna talk about him a little bit, and we're gonna talk about the bare knuckle fights coming up. But yeah, good to see you, Marcel.
Thank you. Thank you.
Don't mind the rain. We're out here.
Oh yeah.
Hey, we're gonna hear a little bit of this and that. We're out here in the backyard bar. But yeah, we're getting it going with Mr. Marcial from Cali Fights.
Yeah,
How you been, man?
I think I tried commenting on all your YouTube videos. I'm like, hopefully they invite me sometime. Hopefully they invite me sometime. Finally they did. Finally they
You're
did.
welcome. Anytime.
To be honest, we invited Marcial and then he canceled.
Oh no. Yeah, I remember that.
No, I'm just kidding. We invited him. He had better things to do. No, I'm just kidding.
I got a better podcast.
It's funny.
No, but he's here now.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
glad you're here, man. So,
Thank you.
like I said, he's been a player in this game in the Central Valley for a very long time. He's a photographer. He has his website. I mean, if you don't know Cali Fights, you probably don't know too much shit. I'm gonna say it like that. Since he's here, you know what I mean? He's been doing his thing, man. So we give him credit, and we're glad he's here. And we're gonna start the show on episode 5, I believe it is, right?
Episode 5.
So we're gonna start that show off by kind of getting with Marcial and then how to start. I know Roy got a lot of questions on back in the day when they were kind of getting their thing. Because Roy, of course, he's OG, so he's here before all of us.
Yeah, I started
Back with
years
the dinosaurs and shit.
We already told that story. We're here for Marcel's story now. Yeah, my story is the old story. We're good. We're good.
Roy was actually around when they were filming Raging Bull back in the 1980s.
Right?
Marcial here now, man. We kind of want to know how'd you get started, Marcial? Let us know. You let us know it's your first podcast. So
It's a bit of a long story, but I mean, it's just the same as everybody else. There was interest in I was interested in the industry, and I just didn't know how to get involved in it. I do have a degree in journalism, so I knew that I wanted to work in media. Finally, I just decided to. I heard that there was an MMA expo in San Jose, in the Santa Clara area, and I had a camera, but I had never turned it on. Like, it was a camera that I won for a raffle, and it was on the box for like 2 years.
So like me started with a regular old camera, nothing special.
So you just won the thing and you just let it.
And I never turned it on. But then I heard that there was an MMA expo, a World Combat Series up in Santa Clara, and I just hit up the promoter, and out of nowhere I said like, hey, I just created this little social media thing, Cali Fights magazine, and I was wondering if you'd let me go shoot some pictures. And surprisingly enough, he said yeah. And I was like, oh shit! Now I gotta know how to work a camera. Now I gotta learn how to work the camera. So literally, the first time I ever touched the camera and I turned it on was when I was already on my way to San Jose. So yeah, so I had I just turned on the camera, I started shooting pictures, and I mean, I don't remember the card, but there were some fighters that ended up being really active from that
one of the expo shows that they do.
It was one of the expos.
That's where they got a bunch of fights, and they got just weightlifters and bodybuilders.
Okay.
They're doing fights. Well, all people walking. Cool shit.
Now, Gabe Scarpelli is the promoter, and now his promotion or his event planning company transitioned more into a Evolution Sports Expo.
Okay.
Evor Sports Expo.
Yeah.
He actually has another one scheduled in next month, I believe. But
was in the Bay Area. I see him move around a couple, but it's usually
right. It's in the Bay Area. He did Fresno once or twice, I believe. He started doing Sacramento.
Nice.
He started doing the one Sacramento, and that was pretty successful. But anyways, yeah. So when I started, when I knew that I was interested in the industry, I just didn't know what to name myself. I didn't know if there was interest at all, because back in 2013, the industry was fairly young in the local scene.
Right.
We did have some people that came out in the industry back then, but nonetheless, in the general market, it wasn't very well known, or it wasn't very well accepted.
Right. Not accepted.
Right, and I didn't know how big of a demographic I wanted to touch. I didn't want to be just like Fresno Fights, but I also didn't want to be like USA or America Fights or whatever. So I just decided to focus more on California. So I just did Cali Fights magazine.
Nice.
And when I created the social media page, I did start getting interest from other states.
Nice.
And for a second, I tried to develop another brand that would reach beyond California. But even back then, I knew that I was doing it more out of the passion of the industry. So I wanted to keep it in a sense that I could still keep control of it by myself. I've had people work with me here and there, mainly when, when they're also touching, or how do you say it, when they're getting their feet wet in the industry. But beyond that, once they expand into their own brands, they just go on and continue doing their own thing. So that's why I just decided to keep it in California.
Yeah.
I started in April 2013. So that's what,
Sheesh.
12 years ago. 12 years ago in April, it'll be 12, 13 years ago. And thank you. And I've shot up and down California, pretty much work with 90% of the promotions in California throughout the years. There were a couple of years that I would shoot in Reno. But
I see you out there in Vegas.
yeah. And then I started shooting in Vegas for Tough Enough again in 2013, 2014. And they've also been one of my day one partnerships.
It's a big partnership because they're a big deal, man. Tough Enough. People don't know, man. One of the top amateur promotions in the world.
Yeah. And I've been blessed enough to be welcomed back. Of course, Vegas is not right around the corner for us. So whenever they invite me or whenever I have time to drive on over, I'd be more than glad to just do the 6-hour drive. And I love working with Tough Enough. Sometimes I don't even mind like just going for the fights. And back a couple years ago, the fight would finish, and I would just drive back, because I had something to do here, and I'd have something to do here on the next morning. I think there was a day that I actually did. I did a show in LA on Friday. I did Tough Enough on Saturday, and then I did a jiu-jitsu tournament on Sunday.
Oh damn!
So I literally put like 1,000 miles in my car that weekend.
A lot of driving.
But anyway, so I've been shooting for the last 12 years, and it's been fun. It's been really fun. I've shot a lot of fighters who back then were amateurs or even young pros. And it's funny, it's great to see some of them make it to to the UFC, to the big show. And people tell me, what do you do with all those pictures? I'm like, well, they're in the vault. Once these fighters make it to the big shows, whether UFC or any other regional show, those pictures always come into play because there's always media companies, there's always websites that are looking.
Back when I started, there wasn't. They didn't have a lot of stores back then, and I was back in 2000. I forget what year it was. It was
6.
Yeah, 6. And the stores was nothing. It's only on the computer whenever you create it, and the computers don't hold that much. So I really couldn't keep a lot of it. So I lost a lot. I tried to put it online, but then I ended up losing it online. Because it's like, well, where did I have it at? So
Right. Yeah, no. So ever since I literally have every picture that I've taken back in 2013. I know some of the pictures that I've been reached out to for major websites for their own articles or what have you. Is local boy Alex. Yeah, Alex has been. Alex Perez. I know they've requested that picture back from when he used to fight at Tachi. And it's funny because every time I go back to those old pictures, you just look at them and you're like, God, dude, there's little kids. They're so young. They're so young. And now you see like their real editorial photography or their real promotions from the UFC. They're all grown up. They're all grown up, and sometimes you do forget that between then and now, 10, 11, 12 years have passed. People are not going to stay as young as they were back in 2013.
Me and him were watching. I found my old on YouTube, my old MMA News at the Gate, and we were watching some weigh-ins I done and stuff, and that looked crazy. I'm like, I recorded the weigh-ins. I forgot I recorded the weigh-ins back then. That's how funny it was.
People been missing that kind of action out there in that area for a long time. Hey, right back at it. I know everybody's excited for that card. We'll talk about a little bit what's going on out there.
And it's to be honest with you, there's so many pictures that I honestly don't even know that I have. Back in 2015, 2016, I fought I've shot Sparstar MMA down in LA. I know a lot of their alums have made it to the UFC. You know, right now, Daniel Rodriguez, he's still an active fighter in the UFC. I have some of his amateur fights from when he fought in what's it called? It's not Hollywood Casino, it's Hollywood something.
Yeah.
Down for Spar Star MMA.
Okay, yeah. It's been a while. Like you said, he's been capturing all these moments for
Man,
a long time.
I'm glad
I
he
remember
kept
the
him
first
on
time I
his side.
met him. Was out in the Warriors cage. I was working for Chris, and he was getting started, and he's out there doing his thing. And I remember seeing Chris getting his own chair. And all that.
Yeah, no, and it's just a trip. Like, honestly, I wish there was a database that I had created throughout the years so that I could easily just look for certain fighters to see if I shot them. Because to be
If
frank with
you'd
you,
have named every one of them, but that's hard. That's a lot of work.
it is a lot of
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
Yeah, it is a lot of work.
You'd have to make a folder with their name on it, and they keep shoving shit in there. But that's, you don't got time for that when you're doing show after show after show. It's like hell.
It's a lot of work, especially when there's so many little Johnnies that fought once, maybe twice, and they just decided to not pursue that career. But even so, to me, the little Johnnies are just as important as the headliners.
Oh yeah,
You know, every time I go to shoot a show, my OCD kicks in, and I'm just not happy if I'm not there for the first fight.
Yeah.
Because for the first fight, the ones that are probably debuters, I call them little Johnnies because you know it's just a general name that I give them. Yeah, and to me, it's very important to be there for the little Johnnies. Just as
And
much
sometimes those guys sell more tickets than the main event.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Like we talked about this BD. I talked about it last time. I don't like watching the grappling. That's one thing I don't. I don't shoot the grappling. But everything for the first fight on regular fight MMA, I'm in.
Yeah.
You know, the grappling. I'm not a big fan of the grappling.
The grappling has been the grappling within the MMA events have been a center of conversation.
Yeah.
It's a hit and miss, and to be honest, with you,
Sometimes they're good, and sometimes they just drag out in the end.
I think placement is more important on whether the grappling competition is good or not. I think placement within the actual card matters a lot because if you have these really high intensity fights and then you throw a grappling match right there just for the sake of killing time, you kill the vibe of the room.
So I would do like that. Hey, say we're doing an intermission right now. We're gonna have some grappling just to keep you occupied. Intermission, they don't have anything anyway.
Right.
Why not throw the grappling matches in there so the guys can have fun and get to do their thing? And people go get their drinks and stuff, but if they want to watch, they can watch. That's what I think. You know, but sometimes that's my opinion.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because
I think this is all our opinion.
Sure.
There's no science.
that way you know it's a break in the fight anyways.
Right.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, no, but I think the grappling matches placement within the card is more important than the actual person who's grappling or the actual impact of the match.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's that grappling within MMA cards has always been a center of conversation. Some people like them, some people just don't.
I don't know about you, but even if no grappling, but there's like 20 fights. Is that a long night for you? I mean, I'm thinking, oh damn, I gotta sit
20 fights. How about 35?
I'm just saying though, but just imagine just 20 for me is a lot. That's what I'm asking him.
Right.
He goes to all of them. He sits through it all. I'm like,
No,
man.
and I do, and like I said,
I get stressed out sometimes. Like I don't want to be here all.
I've learned to keep stuff in my backpack.
Yeah,
keep stuff in my backpack because I mean I'm gonna give a shout out to all photographers, all the cameramen. Yeah. Shout outs to all the photographers. So let me give the official shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the photographers and all the videographers who shoot MMA because we're the only ones who are there from beginning to end. Nobody replaces us. We get no breaks, but we love it, and that's why we're still doing it.
Facts.
Hell yeah. No, but yeah, it's fun. If we didn't enjoy it, we wouldn't be doing it.
And I started years ago. I used to enjoy it really, really good. Now I do this fun sometimes, and sometimes I don't have fun. It just depends. You know, I'm getting older, so it's getting to the point where it turns into like, okay, is this fun today or not? But so you just gotta make it fun. You know what I mean? You go in there, and then when the fighters make it fun, when they come in there and start doing their job, it's like, oh yeah. The boring fights is like, why am I even here with this hugging and holding all the fucking rounds? The guy want to lay on the guy. You know what I mean? Like, get a fucking room, motherfucker. Shit. I don't want to see this shit. You know? I want to see the action.
No, but like Marcial was saying, he was taking pictures out there in Eagle Mountain, but you also start taking pictures for Combate and Fresno. So how did all that go when they were coming in town?
Good. Well, I mean, back when I was younger, I would actually drive a little more. I shot Combate even in the Central Coast area when they did their Cinco de Mayo and I've shot LFA in LA.
Okay.
I've shot them all over the place. But like I said, if they were not fun, if they were tedious, then we wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
When I shoot Tough Enough, like I said, sometimes I go to Tough Enough, or I used to go to Tough Enough for the fights. Once the fight finished at 11:30, I have no problem at all getting in my car and driving back if I have another event somewhere in the Central Valley or somewhere in California. Part of my joy is just getting in my car.
Nice.
You know, just getting in my car. And I've always said this. I've been shooting for what, 12, 13 years. The day that I dread getting in my car is the day that I stop.
Oh,
And I haven't stopped, which means I'm
Yeah.
still enjoying every minute of it.
Nice.
Yeah, because it takes so much time to drive to Vegas, to drive to LA.
Oh, yeah.
But to me, the drive is half the fun.
Right.
I just love being in my car, and like I said, the minute I dread getting in my car
Yeah.
is the minute I'll just stop, because it would no longer be fun.
Yeah, it's
It
not
hasn't-
benefiting you.
Right. No, it hasn't happened since then. So if I get an invitation to go to Sacramento, Vegas, Reno, LA, and family schedule permits it, I'm gonna take it.
Yeah.
I love getting my car.
Nice, nice.
Nice. What's the last event you covered? I mean, you went to the Valley Fight Series, but what you got coming up next year?
So I keep everything in my calendar.
Well, I know some on your calendar coming up next week.
Hell
so-
yeah.
I know some, and that's that Big Dog Bare Knuckle
Right,
Bucks.
big dog, bare knuckle. Yeah.
It's at the Eagle Mountain Casino location, March 8th. March 8th,
March 8th. Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. I mean, you're looking at the card, and I personally can't wait, just because a lot of those names that have come up, they've been Central Valley staples for so many years. You know,
when
and
I seen it, I thought I was excited.
yeah,
That's pretty cool.
heck yeah. It's just exciting to see a lot of these fighters come back and and do what they do.
Yeah,
And I'm pretty excited about it. So many names I remember, because just seeing them gets you excited.
Yeah.
man.
That's what I mean. Inside, when I saw the car, like, oh man, it's gonna be a great car.
Yeah, Evangelista's on the main event versus Gilbert Fuentes, and everybody's excited about that. I seen you did some work with Billy.
Yeah.
How's
Bill.
everything going with Billy? We haven't got to see Billy since I was telling them, we were chatting the other day. We used to go watch his brother George Evangelista popping up on the limos and suited out to all the media days.
Yeah.
He didn't even know about
No, I
George.
didn't even know about that. That's definitely before my time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's definitely before
And
my
Billy
time.
kept carried on with the torch, man. Now he's back doing bare knuckle, man.
Right,
But how's he been? Talked to him a long time.
Billy's definitely been one of my day one fighters that I just enjoy following. I was there for his last MMA fight at Eagle Mountain Casino,
Right.
and it was just exciting. Billy, every time I hang out with Billy, I say this, and he's so intelligent.
Right.
He literally makes me question my intelligence, because he's so philosophical about the industry. He's so strategic the way he talks about the industry, about how it was back then and how he would envision the industry going.
Nice.
Like, I actually have to be on my toes to keep up with his level of industry knowledge.
Nice.
But it's always exciting talking to Billy. And I hung out with him a couple of weeks ago when I went up to Madera to shoot at Ralph's house, new gym.
Nice.
Which, of course, they were training for bare knuckle. LeVar was there, Ralph was there, George was there, and of course Billy was there. But yeah, just being there for a little while, shooting some pictures, it was pretty exciting.
Nice.
Pretty exciting.
Everybody's looking like they're ready to go or what?
All right.
Oh heck yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of fights coming up at the bare knuckle at Eagle Mountain Casino on March 8th. It's fight week, of course, in the Valley. We were just talking about the main event, but the co-main event that night, I think, is Brandon Cash, and I hope I say his opponent's name right. Calvin Video. How do you say it? How do you say it?
The tile.
Yeah.
I'm British.
Hopefully
so-
one of us said it right.
We'll find out when they call his name out at the fight.
Heavyweight fight, man. Brandon Cash with bare knuckle, man. That sounds like a dangerous time to me. I don't know about you guys.
I
man.
love watching heavy fights and bare knuckle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit.
That's gonna be so. And then we go down the card. JC Lama versus Joey Cabezas.
I recognize those names.
Right.
Yeah, I seen Joey plenty of times.
Like you said in our last one, he's running for what is it? City council now.
Yeah.
So
Is he really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I know about
Baker
that.
still.
Yeah.
Joey Cabezas, of course, out there from Lemoore, man. He's been
Yeah.
doing his thing in the MMA scene for a long time.
See them play, huh?
Yeah, we've seen him fight. So, I mean, I can't go back to exact date these guys' last fight and all that, but
Yeah.
they're old school MMA guys and has some experience in the bare knuckle game, you know, BKFC, right? I
Right,
think it
right.
was, right?
He's nice, yeah.
So, or Valor, if I'm mistaken, one of them. I
Yeah.
think he has a little experience.
And I don't know if you remember, but JC Llamas is, I say Llama.
Yeah.
JC Llamas. He was actually an original cast member for Combate Americas.
Really?
When they did
Okay.
when they did the reality show that it was
Uh-huh.
recorded very similar to The Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
Combate Americas, that's how it actually started.
Nice.
Where they got a bunch of fighters and they put them up in a house, and they on a weekly show they had competitions that led up to a fight, and then people would be eliminated.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something
So
like the Ultimate Fighter, but their own little style of that.
yeah, well, geared towards the Latino community,
Nice.
towards the Latino
I think I
community.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
sure.
there's been quite a few names from the original Combate Americas reality show
Right.
that have made it big. But JC Llamas, he's such a marketing powerhouse. He knows how to market himself. He's one of the best fighters that I know how to market. That he knows how to market himself, and he knows how to pretty much how to keep the camera on him.
Right.
And I mean, when fighters are in that situation, you got to do that. You got to find a way to get the camera to look at you, because the more eyeballs you have on you, the more potential sponsors or the heavier sponsors
Yeah. Way to
you're
move up.
bound to catch. Yeah,
For sure. For
yeah.
sure.
So JC Llamas has always been a bit of a guy before his time when it comes to actually keeping the cameras on him, which
sure,
is
for
a
sure.
brilliant guy marketing wise.
He keeps doing his thing out there in Bakersfield. You can see he has his team and his school out there. And
Right.
he got all the kids programs going. So if you're in Bakersfield and you're looking for a place to train, JC Llamas Academy is
yeah.
going to be a spot to check out for sure. He's also on the card. Kenny Clark, I think we talked about him from A1 Combat. He's fighting Jeff Carson. We got Sam Sanchez versus Nick Scribner. And then another couple of locals. You remember Little Bear Johnson?
Yeah.
Back, man. Marcial let us know it's going to be in the ring, right?
Last time I talked to Ralph and LeVar, when I went to visit Ralph and LeVar in their new gym in Madera,
Okay.
they were hoping to be able to transport the ring that they have in their gym
Okay.
to transport it into Eagle Mountain. So if all plans fall as they want, it's going to be in the ring.
Nice.
It'll be easier, and it'll force the fighters to stay standing.
I think the bare knuckle in the ring is like boxing. Why not?
No, definitely. And this kind of goes in hand with what you said about the heavyweights, the big boys
Yeah.
wanting to be or it's better to be in the ring just because they stay standing.
Yeah.
They're gonna stay throwing, they're not gonna hit the ground. They're not gonna
Well, we're gonna hope one of them hits the ground.
well, eventually we're hoping one of them hits the ground, but
yeah.
but when it comes to like the actual fight, it's going to be exciting for bare knuckle to be in the ring.
I'm excited. I can't wait.
Mhm.
I can't wait to go.
Right.
I said this is when I get excited for new stuff like this again. For now, me, like I said, sometimes I don't get excited, but for this, yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah. Hey,
And
tickets
it's
are
something
still
that hasn't
available.
been, it's something that hasn't been seen in the Central Valley.
Yeah.
I know.
First time in California, right? Besides BKFC
Yeah.
in our area for sure.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
first time in our area, but I do believe there's been a show down south, and
Yeah. BKFC was down south. Yeah.
right.
Because there was early talks that Valor and Ken Shamrock was going to come to Portable. I remember
Yeah,
they did an
yeah.
announcement. I don't know what happened. It fell through.
Yeah.
Now we got this, man, and I can't wait to see what happens here.
Heck
So
yeah.
Sergio Quinones is also on the card
Oh,
versus
yeah,
John Reedy. Remember John
Yeah, I
Reedy?
remember both of them.
Yeah. Sergio Quinones from out there in Lemoore, man. He finished his MMA career winning a couple of titles actually out there in Hawaii. He
Yeah.
was doing his thing back in the day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you guys got to buy tickets. They're available online. I think they're available online. You got to check out their social media to see how to get tickets for all that. But
It's funny to see a lot of these names just because we've seen them all at
Yeah.
Tachi.
Right.
We've seen them all back in
Oh, yeah.
Tachi's glory days or Tachi Palace fights.
Nice.
That brings back the old memories when you think about it. And stuff.
No,
Yeah.
definitely. And I'm personally a visual person, photography, advertising. That's my go-to thing. So when you say Cody Sons, you say Sergio, you say John Reedy, I literally have a mental picture of the pictures that I've shot of them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I know who that is.
Exactly.
I know exactly who that is.
My mental pictures are the weigh-ins. I don't know why. Every time I think about it in the weigh-ins. And
Are they because they're in their calzones?
Come on. It's getting weird. Damn. Yeah.
But no, that's going to be a great card out there, man. I can't wait to see how that ends up happening. And like I was saying that on the last show, man, I hope they just keep pumping out these shows.
Yeah.
Keep going with it. I know they got some good people behind it, and I know it can be a big thing for sure around here in the Central Valley.
Yeah, definitely.
It's going to be exciting. I know we brought up a name earlier on cameras, Isaac De Jesus.
For sure.
I know. I don't know if he's in the card or not. I know that
hoping.
he's been training. Yeah, we're definitely hoping.
Yeah,
I know he's been training. Yeah, he's been training with some of the fighters in the card. But Isaac De Jesus, I'd like to admit that Isaac was the very first fighter that actually got my attention into the industry.
Yeah.
I remember when I started getting interested in the industry and I was trying to find a way how to get involved into it, and I stumbled into this camera that I had.
Yeah.
I remember hitting him up. I remember going to his gym on Blackstone and Sierra. No. After that, but it was before my time.
Okay.
It was before my time. There was a gym that he had on Blackstone.
Thrive MMA.
Yeah, Thrive MMA. And I just hit him up. I'm like, hey, so this is who I am. I just barely started this new page or whatever. Do you mind if I go over and shoot some pictures? And he accepted me. He was completely awesome. He was literally the first fighter that was my target to do a one-on-one photo shoot.
Yeah.
So when I went, of course, they were training. Isaac was there. Soto was there.
Nice.
Who else was there?
Poppies, I think, huh?
Poppies was there.
Right.
Poppies was there.
Nice.
Evan Solorio was there.
Nice.
So this is literally, we're talking spring of 2013. I have pictures of all these fighters training. And again, you look at Evan, who is now a very successful law enforcement officer, and you look at these pictures back from 2013, and like you just think about, you're like, damn, they were kids.
Right, yeah.
They were kids, but
Yep.
but it's exciting to see Isaac De Jesus training. I personally wish he was in the card. I don't think he is,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
he was
Well,
literally.
maybe they can talk him into get next card. They have another card. Yeah. Be nice.
I mean, we all have priorities as we grow up.
Yeah,
Our
sure.
priorities do change,
Uh-huh.
but yeah, no. Isaac was literally the first fighter that got me interested in the industry.
It was fun to watch, that's for sure.
Very fun to watch.
From his walkout, man, he used the same song every time. I don't
Right.
know what it was. Let you know some shit's about to go down for sure.
Speaking of his walkout, again, pictures that resonate with me is him walking out, his taking off his sweater,
Yeah.
and he still has his t-shirt and taking off his sweater. That picture made its round
Nice.
because it was just so iconic. It was just so Isaac De Jesus, and
Nice.
people knew who Isaac De Jesus was based on that picture and based on the intensity in his face. I'll send it to you guys, so you'll know exactly what
Hold it
I'm
up,
talking
hold
about.
it up.
If you can say
Yeah,
it,
yep.
put it up when I edit this. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was on the first, my first Tachi show, which I believe it was the return. If I'm not mistaken, it was summer or fall of 2013.
Nice.
And that's where I shot Isaac. I shot Art Arciniega, Alex Perez, Sergio Quiñones, and I believe Michael Reedy was on that card as well. And again,
Nice.
we keep going back to fighters in this card who are just staples of the MMA industry
Right.
in the Central Valley.
Oh,
I
yeah.
freaking love it. I'm so
And-
excited for this
And the
card.
names are recognizable. So
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I know who we're talking about right away.
Yeah, speaking of back all these old fighters, man, you had a magazine back in the day when you were doing this thing.
Yeah, I had
Tell us a little bit about that. I had the first issue. I met him in Fresno. Charged me $40.
Damn.
Just kidding. He gave me a free T-shirt.
Do you have any left?
I had to charge a delivery fees. No. Yeah. So Cali Fights to me has always been my project. It's always been a one-man team. Like I said, there's been times where I've had people helping me out, but once they develop their own brand or their own staple within the industry, they move on to their own project, which is exciting for me to see them grow in the industry. But I did publish a couple issues. I am looking. One thing that it was constructive criticism told to me, which kind of prevented me from publishing more, was that the magazine always lacked editorial content. I have plenty of pictures, and all the entire magazine was just filled with pictures. But it's not a magazine unless there's articles.
Yeah.
Unless there's
You need a
editorial
writer
content.
like Daniel, right? Daniel's a writer.
Exactly.
He can
No,
write.
exactly. Yeah,
He's one of the best writers. I mean, even reading sports on at a high level.
Yeah, definitely.
He can hang out there.
And
And I'm not just saying that because of my nephew, because I read his shit all the time because he does that. I read every article he puts up, and it just sounds so natural and so clean.
Right.
Yeah. So
well, we are working on that. We're working on a couple pieces right now.
Nothing wrong with that. That's great.
Definitely look forward to that next Kelly Fights magazine. It's happening.
Yeah, we're working on a couple pieces and having Daniel as the writer. So he is literally going to fill in the huge gap that was within my published magazines.
Yeah, because his stories tell the story of the picture, and then it helps when you got the picture, then you got a story behind it. It makes it nice, makes it real nice.
And the pieces that I've read that he's written, I really enjoy them because they resonate with the market audience. They're not trying to speak a language that the market audience won't understand or doesn't care about.
Oh yeah.
It's the MMA industry and we have to speak to the MMA fan as they want to be spoken to.
Oh yeah.
As with words or with a sentence structure that the MMA fans will be intrigued by.
Well, what I think makes him so good at it, he's an MMA fan himself, and that's the thing. You have to be a fan of that, for your heart's got to be into it, your soul, and that's a lot of it. Back when I did this stuff, I had my ex-girlfriend writing, and she wasn't a great writer, but she got the shit done. You know what I mean? Just enough. But then when he started writing for us, they started getting better and better, and he got better as well. And now it's just like natural.
So
like I said, I'll put it up there on top of him.
No, but yeah, we're working on a couple pieces right now that hopefully that will elevate both CaliFights.com and CaliFights the magazine, published thing. To me, my passion is publishing.
Yeah,
I love the physical magazine.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see it. That'd be great.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that.
You can put me in the back picture, get a free cool page.
So I add space. I'll have my ad space representative hit you up. What do you want? Quarter page? Full page?
Full page.
Full page.
Full color in the back.
We will do that.
That's a picture of Roy.
My back and forth, my beard.
Hell yeah.
We got your back, though. We got on the back page. We got your back.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. Just my little writing skills on a magazine like that, man. Get published. That's something exciting for me to look forward to, and
that's something you can hold on to forever, too.
Yeah. And that's been my philosophy in this whole publishing magazine thing. Like I said, to me, my passion is publishing. The way that I feel about it, a physical published magazine is something that I like to say that you throw in a shoebox, and you open, say, you find the shoebox 10, 15 years later, and it's more exciting to be like, look, son, this is what I used to do when I was your age, to where things that are published physically, like you stumble upon them and it just takes you back.
Yeah, you publish online and next thing you know, it's gone. You'll never see it again. Unless somebody's looking for that exact thing. Yeah. And like you said, it's like a magazine. You go back in there, somebody else can find it. And like, man, check this out. I don't know. This is cool. And they can read the whole damn thing and enjoy it.
Right.
But like I said, online, they can't do that.
Right.
It's so fast right now in times, and that's going to take it back. And I like that.
Right. And not only that, but also as MMA fans, when you see full page pictures of your favorite fighters, your favorite local fighters, whether it's your uncle or whether it's somebody that you don't even know, what did you do when you were a kid? I know that when I was a kid, I would rip the full page posters and I put it on the wall.
I've done it.
Yeah, I'm aging myself back to the early '90s with Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson. Who did not have a Bo Jackson? Yeah,
we put a Hulk Hogan in Mr. T.
Yeah, I remember. I still had I still remember I had on my wall the advertisement of Bo Jackson. Bo knows baseball.
Nice. Bo knows best.
Yeah, Bo knows best.
Also, it's nice for the fighters to see themselves in a magazine.
Exactly.
Especially like they said, this is like the lower end of it until they get bigger.
Right.
But this magazine is gonna be good for all these guys. You know, what I mean, they're not a pro yet, but they see yourself in a magazine. You're not a pro yet. That's fucking big. You know, what I mean, that's good.
And not only for those who make it big, but also those who only fought once or twice.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, so they're in that magazine. They're trying forever in that magazine. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
because like I said, I said this years ago. I covered it. I've never been in it in the fight. In the fight, but these guys going, I got a lot of respect for getting in that ring and doing that shit. So that's what I'm saying. So to know they got in there and did it, because I never did it.
Right.
But I love watching it. But for them, but that to be in a magazine, be like, oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know what you can do when you get a good shot one day, and I'm on the other side, I'm in the cage, taking a picture of myself. Hey, look at get right in there. Put that in the magazine, damn it.
Well, it's funny you say that because I don't know if I should call her a colleague of mine, somebody that like a photographer that did make it to the UFC and all this stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
She recently sent me a picture of me, you know, one of the regional shows,
Yeah.
and how do I describe this picture? So she's like, you know, up on the higher tier,
Yeah, up
and
on
I'm down. I'm down on the catwalk, and then she just zooms into my pictures, and I'm literally shooting. You know, once the coaches and the corners come into the cage, they're all standing right in front of all the photographers.
That's you're trying to get in between.
Yeah, you're trying to get in between. So she sent me a picture where like I'm in between somebody's legs trying to get the picture. And she's like, "Is that you?" I'm like, "Hey, you do what you got to do to get the shot. You do what you got to do to get the shot." And it was just the funniest thing because even so, the picture that I took, luckily it was ended up being a good picture. But you see like a triangle on both corners, and it looked like a graphic or like a filter.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Nah, girl, that's just somebody's leg."
Yeah, that's somebody's legs. Yeah.
That's just somebody's legs.
Well, it's funny because me and him were going through the other night, man. 'Cause I was showing him the old fights, and I Jesus and all the guys were in there.
Yeah.
And then we're looking for me though. I'm like, I'm right there, and I'm like, I got to part one. I didn't even recognize myself. It's been so long, and like, oh shit, that is me. Damn it. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't because I was a lot thinner, and I never had a beard back then, and so it's hard to even recognize myself in the side. You know, like it's crazy. But it's fun. I tell you what, it's enjoyable.
Yeah. No, like I said earlier, if it was a hassle or if it was a burden, we wouldn't be doing it. We wouldn't be doing it at all.
Definitely. It's great.
Nice. Hell yeah. So like, we're all looking forward to the bare knuckle. You think we're gonna get a story for the bare knuckle on the magazine, Marcial? Or what?
Say it again.
Get some story for the magazine.
Hell yeah. Yeah. No, within that card, we got so many stories to tell.
Be there, right? Taking pictures.
Yes, sir.
I was trying to get there too. I think I need to get out.
Hell yeah.
We're all looking forward to that. For sure. I mean, it's been a long time since we had like a couple events at the same night.
Yeah, and then we can go get both covered.
Yeah, so it's cool to try to spread people.
It'll be fun.
Right.
And not only that, just everything in the Central Valley happening the way it is now.
Yeah.
I see like a lot more attention. No, just not with Valley, everywhere.
Well, you know,
Amateur MMA, bare knuckle, we're getting pro fights again.
yeah.
For a while, it wasn't like that. It's all coming back.
Well, I remember when I first started, it was all pro fights. There was nothing but pro fights, and all of a sudden, the amateur came in,
Right.
and then then amateur took over after a while, and then that's when I kind of got out of it,
Yeah.
and then I come back. Now we're getting in it, and you know, when we started again,
Yeah.
and then the pro fights started to come back, so it makes it nice.
Right. You still working with A1 Combat, Marcial?
I haven't yet. I used to work with them for every event, but what happened is 2 years ago,
Yeah.
I decided to go back to school.
That's right.
So I went back to school. I went to get my master's, and because of that, I did have to take a step back on all the events that I used to cover. I mean, I used to go, of course, I used to work with A1 Combat. I used to work with Lights Out Extreme Fighting down in LA. I used to work with Spar Star.
Right.
I used to work with Up Next Fighting.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you know, time constraints, I just couldn't continue doing everything while trying to get my work done for school. So there were some shows that I had to just scale back from.
Yeah, and he's still back so he can go get a degree at USC.
Right here. Yeah, so I went back to school and I got my master's in communication management through USC.
Nice, man, for sure.
Never too old.
Hell no.
Never too old.
No, hell no.
So no, I only brought A1 Combat because there's like some breaking news coming out. They're moving their date. You know, they had a date set up for April. They're moving it to May now, but the card's still crazy. It still has a lot of Central Valley fighters that are going out there. The main event's going to be Bruno Souza versus Hector Fajardo. It's kind of ways down now, but like the news is that the date's being moved back.
Mm-hmm.
But the card's going to be crazy, man. Christian Avalos, our boy from the Parlier, is going to head out there.
Nice.
He's going to be taking on, I think, some people that are taking a guy that some people are taking lightly, Jose Estrada.
Right.
So what do you think about that fight, Marcial?
I think it's going to be a good fight. I know Christian Avalos is the favorite to win this fight, but I got to tell you, I've shot Estrada a couple of times. Some
Froggy,
people,
huh?
yeah, Froggy. Some people may not know him as Froggy. But I've shot him, and he's definitely somebody that you should not be taken for granted.
Right.
Yeah, he's a little firecracker. I personally love shooting him, I've seen him, I believe, 2 or 3 fights. Actually, I once went all the way to the coast area for Combat Americas
Nice.
for their May 5th event, just to shoot him.
Nice.
Yeah,
good.
yeah. So I'm definitely a fan of Froggy. Of course, the Avalos brothers. I've always been a fan. That ever since I remember, I've been shooting their fights, and they've been great to Kelly fights as well. They've been great supporters as well. So for this one, I'm not gonna pick a favorite. I'm really not. I'm gonna be respectful to both competitors, because as much love as the Avalos brothers had displayed for Cali fights, I really do appreciate it, and I also know Froggy's skills as well.
Yeah.
Much respect for both.
It's gonna be a hell of a fight, right?
It is. It really is.
They got their welterweight championships on the line out there too, and then they got Andrew Bulldog Coin versus Isidro Gutierrez. I think he's still out there training with Phil the Pain Collins out there. So they got a Joshua Simpson from Dethrone MMA. He's making the trip, man. He's going to be taking on another undefeated fighter, Jonathan Powell. So they got, and I'm sure they're adding more to this card. I haven't checked the newest update. The dates moved back, so we just want to talk about it because they got a couple of fighters.
Yeah, definitely.
You make the trip if you can.
Yeah. I'm gonna try. I believe this card is on a Friday, which it makes it a little hard for me to travel out of town on Friday. But if I'm able to get at least half a day off, I may end up heading up there.
We're thinking about it too, man. We're talking about jumping on a train.
Yeah, jump on a train right up in there. Yeah.
I didn't know it was on a Friday. Shit.
I believe it. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it is on a Friday, and that always makes it hard for me to get out of town.
Yeah,
when it's on Friday.
We'll see, man. That's what we got to look forward to, man. I hope everyone can get out there. I know tickets are online. Go check out a1combat.com for info on all that. But I think we're about wrapped up here with Marcial.
Oh, I got one more question.
That's right. What you got, man? Hell yeah.
All right. I told him I wouldn't ask.
Before you ask the question, I sent him a list of no discussion topics.
I already heard this. You know me. I got to start shit, so I got to ask.
I'm kidding. What's up?
No, I was going to ask about the awards. You stopped that, didn't you, for last year?
So
but are you going to bring that back in the magazine?
That is a great question.
Magazine,
yeah. So that is a great question. Very similar to the magazine, they do ask me. The Cali Fight Awards are award shows. It's an amazing event that happens. Well, I typically do it in January or February. That event is. I'm personally blessed to see people come from Sacramento to Fresno to come and see it. That event is more than just an awards. The awards is just it's kind of like
icing on the cake.
Yeah, it's just the icing on the cake.
Oh, no, I enjoyed it. We went to one where I enjoyed it.
Yeah. And the last one that I did was 2 years ago. But to me, what comes out of the event is such a great networking event.
Yeah,
like promoters meet fighters, fight agents meet fighters and promoters. We could write a piece on the networking things that happened during the Cali Fight Awards.
Oh yeah.
Because fighters literally get booked for fights on that event.
Yeah.
And a couple of years ago, or one of the first times that I did it, I also included it and I helped promote the sponsors. And even some fighters got sponsor contracts out of these events.
Yes.
So the last couple of years, or 2 years ago when I did it, it was very successful. I did it in a restaurant up in Sacramento. I wanted to do it again this last year, but again, going back to school, there's me still being a one-man team. It's a little hard for me to do everything. But I am hoping to do it again. Everybody loved the little engraved award.
I enjoyed the whole thing. I had a good time out there.
The little engraved awards, and it's a multi-purpose.
I didn't get one.
I know. We didn't get one. What the hell? Come on. He gave it to himself. He's a fucking me. You're like,
no. That was a fun time, though.
I'm not gonna give it to myself.
That's a fun time for sure, man. You see some big time names out there hanging out, eating, man, and bumping shoulders.
Yeah, and I mean, for example, in this last show, of course, I had from A1, Gabe from World Combat Series. I had Julio from 5155 Nights. I had so many different promoters representing that night. And of course, in the industry, it starts with the promoters. They're the ones that put in the hard work to put in the stage so that fighters have somewhere to
get
display.
them somewhere to fight.
Yeah. So it was exciting. So beyond the promoters, there were ring girls, there were fighters, there were sponsors, there were coaches, there were gym owners. The highlight of the show is not necessarily the award itself, but it is the networking show.
Oh, and
or
like I
the
said, I
networking
enjoyed it. We
event.
went out there and I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Yeah,
We got
yeah,
a plan for this year. What?
yeah. Hell yeah, yeah. We're gonna plan
Maybe a
that.
little venue and all that again, or what?
Yep, yeah.
Well, maybe we can
It's
help
more.
out a little bit.
Yeah, let's help out and make it a group effort and make
Yeah,
this shit
yeah,
happen.
hell
man.
yeah.
I
It's
enjoyed it. I just enjoyed being there, but we can help out anyway. Yeah, definitely
yeah.
help out.
Thank you. Appreciate that. It's a
Yeah.
great networking event, and like I said, the connections that happen in those events. To me, those are the stories that I love hearing after that event.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
All right. Well, it's been a good show, Marcial.
Mhm.
Good seeing you here and hanging out with us and give us some stories and all that
Likewise.
stuff.
Likewise.
And then, Daniel, you got anything to say?
I think we're good, man. We're glad we were able to catch up with Marcial. If he's willing to come back, we'll have him anytime.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. And then good talking to Uncle Alray as always, man. We'll see you at the fights. And
And like I said, like and subscribe. And the one last thing I gotta say today, we got new equipment. It rained. We're outside under a eave where it's a tin metal roof. So just bear with us for the volume and all that stuff. We're figuring this new equipment out. So yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Episode 6.
that's right.
Have a great day.
Yeah.